Hi, this is Dr. Taylor. Welcome to my TV channel. Today I'm going to talk about cheating on your loved one. That goes both ways, whether it's a woman or a man, woman, man, whatever. I think at some point in life, many of us, I can't say all, I can't speak for all of us, so I can only say many of us have been cheated on. What does that do to us as people or individuals? From my perspective, well, it affects trust. Because trust starts out with 100%, because that's all you got. A lot of people do it the opposite way. Trust starts out with nothing, and you build up to it. Either way is trust. Trust is a big factor in relationships, and it's important in order to build a foundation, especially when it comes to communication. So how could you trust somebody if they continue to lie to them? That means you can't even communicate, because everything that comes out their mouth is a lie. It's no truth. How could you trust somebody who cheats on you, right? It's not easy. It takes a lot of work. And it takes building up. And so many of us have internal problems with trust. And we carry it into our next relationship. We already start off not trusting that individual. That means they didn't have a fair chance to begin with. That means you pretty much set the relationship up for failure before it even started. By not giving that person an opportunity to even gain your trust, because of all the damage that's been done in previous relationships. It's like a cycle. You begin to feel insecure, or you begin to feel like, is there anybody out there that I can trust? Is there any good men, women out there that you can trust? I'm sure there are. It's about what great lengths you'll go to secure a healthy relationship. I know that most people stay in a relationship even though the trust has been violated, because they think about the time they have vested, the energy, the longevity, just the fact of having to even start over just sounds draining within itself. So they hang in there. But I guess it's worth hanging in there if there's some love still there. But then that also means that you have to be willing to accept that person for who they are, because you can't change character. I think I mentioned it before in one of my other podcasts. You cannot change a person's ways. And perhaps a lot of us go by the notion that, maybe in time they'll stop, they'll come around, and they hang in there for the long haul. Hey, more power to you. But for me, I've been through that before, and I didn't give up either. Hung in there with trust issues with individuals who were cheating or unfaithful. And then they want to accuse you of cheating. It's because, generally they're the ones doing it, even though you're not. And they want to truly believe that you did, even though you didn't. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't change those thoughts. But I think when it gets to a point, it's affecting your own self-worth. It's affecting how you feel about yourself. And then you need to reevaluate whether this is something you want to stay in, because it's not healthy for you mentally. It's hard to say I love you and then leave out the door and you're sleeping with somebody else. That individual's going to wonder what type of love. Is love because of the time we spent, but yet you're finding solace and love in the hands of somebody else? I don't think that's the life that I would want to live, and the life that many individuals would not like to live. And then there's some who don't like it, but they deal with it. There's a price that they pay for it. They may have luxury living, a wonderful lifestyle. So they supplement it and allow an individual to do things, whatever they want to do. It's a give and take. But you have to ask yourself, is it truly a relationship of love and honesty and commitment? It's a struggle. You know, there's been relationships that people have been in for years, and the other spouse goes out and have children by somebody else, or the female may be cheating with somebody else. Why don't you just let go? Why do we hold on? Why do we hold on and cause pain for the other person who's being faithful or trying to build something? That's that inner greed in us, our inner inability to allow somebody else to have happiness in their life. And we can't have our ice cream and cake and eat it too. Although there are open relationships, if there's an understanding, hey, more power to you. You got that understanding, and because that means the lines of communication is open. You know, monogamous, polygamy, poly, whatever you want to call it. There's a woman who's married to several men. Hey, more power to you. You guys are all happy and you guys are all getting along. That's great. That's because you communicated and everybody has an understanding of what's going on. But when you marry as two and the understanding is me and you, there is no three. Because it wasn't communicated and wasn't discussed. And that's where the cheating comes in. You know, where we want to have extra. It's a sense of entitlement, but we're not entitled to do that because we're hurting other people's lives. And we're also hurting the individual that we're messing around with the hopes that that person's going to leave you for that person. Generally, that doesn't work out that way. So at the end of the day, somebody gets hurt. And then you just begin to second question yourself, what am I doing wrong? You know, a lot of people always say that, oh, you must not be taking care of home and blah, blah, blah. And this is not about me. This is just in general. And it's not even that. You could be taking care of home. You can be cooking, cleaning, that perfect person. But it's still not enough for that individual. It may have a lustful spirit. And you can't change that. You can't change that. We're so quick to judge people's relationships when ours isn't perfect. There's no perfect relationship. We all have flaws. We all have issues, things that we don't like. But it comes to a point where you're dealing with what you can handle. You can handle somebody that's constantly cursing you out, mentally abusing you for years. It's your life. You have to think about that. But in that case, we know it's not healthy. Mental abuse, physical abuse, any of those things are not healthy. You know, you're almost being entrapped against your will, enslaved against your will. You know, nobody has the right to beat on each other, or hit each other, or physically abuse a person to where it's affecting their mind. Not everybody has strong minds. And we have to be mindful of that. It's abuse of power. It's something that you shouldn't abuse. You should use that power in a more positive direction, in a more positive way. So when it comes to cheating, when you meet somebody, you just don't know. They may tell you everything you want to hear, but yet it's just their nature. Perhaps they can love you and love everybody else too. But I believe there's somebody out there for everybody. You know, and I know that we all are human. And we don't want to share, especially somebody that we love dearly. We want them all to ourselves. So, and if you feel that way and it's communicated that way, then work to be that person. You know, if you want to have your cake and ice cream, eat it too, communicate that to that individual. See how that works out for you. They may be open to it. But if they want a monogamous relationship, just me and you, honor that. If you have any convictions or conscience, I believe you will. But for some, there is no conviction, no conscience. They'll do it once, they'll do it twice, they'll say they're sorry, they'll do whatever they can to keep you so that they have some solidarity in life. You know, they have somebody that's solid that they can keep, that they know is a good person. But every once in a while, they want to dip and dab. But it's not okay for the other person to do it. They feel it's uneven. It's not a fair playing field. This whole macho thing, I'm a man and you're a woman, that has nothing to do with it. There's female hoes and there's male hoes. That's what they call you, right? Thoughts or whatever. I think that we should think about who we're hurting when we make decisions that affects the other party. It's always after the fact, especially if you get caught. You're so apologetic. But did you ever go forth and say, look, I cheated on you, I'm wrong, I want to get this right, I want to love you? I think most women would be more apt to want to forgive you and accept you because you came forward and you were straightforward about it. Even if it means losing that person, at least you were honest and sincere. It seemed like they have a chance because you have some conviction. And when you have to get caught up in your stuff and you're apologetic, were you really? I think if you were caught, you probably would have never said anything if you weren't caught. And that individual would never know, right? Life as usual. So now you don't know what you're dealing with. There's an integrity issue. Honor and respect. How do you have that for somebody that puts your life at risk health-wise? And that means that they can't give you all their love because they're sharing it elsewhere. And as time progresses, it may begin to diminish. It may devalue you and not see you the way they used to see you during the honeymoon season. So I would never tell anybody to leave somebody because they're cheating on them, because that's your choice. You know what you can deal with, what you can't deal with, what you can work with, what you can't work with. You know your limitations. But with that being said, overall, we all deserve love, and we all deserve fair love, equitable love. It's Dr. Taylor. Be sure to like and share.